John W. Davis here with St. John Bosco coach Jason Negro. Coach, got a big game here, the third one of the season. St. Francis coming to Panish. What do you think about this game, and how excited are you for this national matchup? I heard you telling the team, like, this is a national game. You have a lot of eyes on you. This is why you come to Bosco.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a standard that we've set here. It's something that, kind of words that we live by is, want to be at St. John Bosco, then you better prepare yourself to play against some of the best teams in the country. Sometimes we have to do it twice in the same year. So for us, it's something that we kind of hang our hat on. We want to be able to challenge our kids and their skill set against some of the best teams from other states. And St. Francis is willing to come out here and play against us. They're obviously ranked top 5 in the country. It's going to give us that opportunity this Friday.
Defensively, I would say, although the team has played hard, you haven't really been challenged by teams scoring a lot of points against you. The first one, you only played a half that was 31-0. This last one, they got 7 on you, but I mean, the game was well in hand.
Right.
How important is it going to be, like you were saying, for the defense to be ready to play all 4 quarters, 48 minutes?
I think this is a good test for us. Certainly in the first 2 ball games, we had a big talent advantage, but I don't think that's going to be the case this Friday. St. Francis probably has one of the top rosters in the country without question. They got 5 stars all over the roster. They got SEC, ACC, and Big Ten guys, that play for their football team, and they're very well coached. So, it's going to be a challenge for our defense. They're going to have to come out and play 48 minutes, and I think we're going to have to play really good in the red zone and not allow any big plays. If we could keep their explosives down and we could play tough in the red zone and force kicks versus them scoring touchdowns, I think we have a good opportunity potentially to win the game in the fourth quarter.
Offensively, on offense, your offense hasn't really been challenged by a defense yet. And just looking at it statistically, it seems like you're just taking what they're giving you and just throwing the ball, and that's working. I mean, sometimes you throw the ball to somebody and the catch turns into a touchdown. But how important will it be to be a balanced offense, to be able to run that ball in this game when you necessarily haven't had to do that yet this season?
Well, by far, this is probably, one of the top defenses in the country. They're extremely well coached. They're very active. They're long. They got speed. They're physical up front. So they have all the components, all the ingredients to be a great defense, and that's exactly what they are. So we're going to have to be able to execute. We're going to have to be efficient, hold on to the football. And we are going to have a balance between the run and the pass game. I think we've done a pretty good job with our game plan this week. We've executed it pretty well in practice. Koa and Brody have done a pretty good job of managing things, and we've got athletes ourselves on our end. So if we can hold up in the front, in the trenches, and we can make sure we keep our quarterbacks, upright, we're going to have an opportunity to deliver the ball out to some of our playmakers. And when they get the ball in space, they're going to have to make plays against these really talented DBs from St. Francis.
Yeah, you've been playing a couple quarterbacks this year. Koa, the returning starter. What type of execution are you going to want to see from him in a game like this?
Well, they can get greedy. I think the biggest thing for them is they have to play within the scheme. We have a pretty good idea what they're going to do defensively, and we got things that we can combat against that. We're going to do some different things on offense in terms of try to get in some of our playmakers' hands as quick as we possibly can. And they're going to have to be, kind of cerebral guys. They're going to have high football IQ, and you stay calm in the pressure moments and understand that St. Francis is going to blow us up in some plays here and there. They're a little bit of a feast or famine type deal. Where they're going to get us sometimes. We might possibly get them, but we have to just capitalize on any opportunity that we have, and we got to be smart at the quarterback position and not turn the ball over.
Yeah, it sounds like you're saying that you don't want the quarterbacks to, obviously you want them to do enough, but you don't want them to feel like they have to do too much.
Yeah, they have to operate within the scheme of the game plan. I think our offense coordinator, Steve Lowe, has done a pretty good job of putting us in position to be successful. And, if they give us what we think they're going to give us because, of what they've done in the past, we think we have some things dialed up that could give us an opportunity to move the ball down the field. But we are going to have to be balanced, and we have to hold on to the football and not make any mistakes. And we can't play behind the chains. So, the mental game and the unforced errors and the penalties are going to have to be subsided this week, if we want to be able to have a successful offense.
And a team, realistically, is only as successful as their defense is, because at some point, you got to stop somebody, even if it's just for one play. But how impactful has your senior linebacker, Matthew Muasau, been in this season, knowing that, when you look across this roster, you could still say it's fairly young or even not, if not young, still, people that still have, a lot of high school football ahead of them.
Right. Well, Matt's a 3-year starter for us. He's one of these guys that you hope to have in your program. You hope that he's on your team. And, He's a leader. He's a leader on the field. He's a leader off the field in the weight room. He sets the standard here for St. John Bosco. He's the type of ambassador that we want to have as part of our program. And then he goes out there on each and every Friday night and he backs it up. And not only that, but he's one of the hardest practice players. He's a great preparer, for the game plan each and every week. And he holds people accountable. And I think when you have your best players that do that and they hold their teammates accountable, you have an opportunity to have a pretty good defense. And that's currently what we have.
If you could give your team, I know we're a day or two away from it, but if there's like a final thing you want to say to your team that you want to see from them against St. Francis in this nationally televised game against a top 5 team that has talent just like your team has, like what would be that final thing that you feel like you want to impart to them before they step out on this field Friday night?
Well, I'm a pretty consistent guy. We're not going to deviate too far from what we said last week. I mean, at the end of the day, it's another really good football team, and we got to focus on what we do here at St. John Bosco. We got to focus on our execution, on the way that we play. We can't worry about the opponent. We talk all the time about it's a nameless, faceless type of opponent, and that's no disrespect to St. Francis or anybody that we play. But, and I know it might sound a little cliche, but we really have to focus on what we do. We know who we are here at St. John Bosco, and we're going to go out there and try to play Braves football.
Thank you so much.
All right, go Braves.